And we are going to continue our preview of the Roland-Garros singles draws with our women's draw. And we've got 4 quarters to dissect, and then we'll be making our women's predictions as well, including those bold predictions. So we'll see if they're as bold as the men's ones. Let's commence with top seed, world number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, who is still yet to win a Roland-Garros title and came close last year by losing to Coco Guaff in the final. She opens up against one of my faves, Jessica Bouzas-Monero. And she's also got JPEG in her quarter. She's got Victoria Mboko, young Canadian. Naomi Osaka is there. Iva Jovic, the young American, also in that section. What do you think of Sabalenka's draw? Would she be happy with this draw, do you think, Chris?
I think it's really tough, if I'm honest. I think all of the most dangerous seeds, I think, who just missed out on a better seeding are all kind of in here. I think Osaka could be an absolute nightmare. You also have, players like Kasatkina unseeded, who's also lurking in her part of the draw. I mean,
Navarro's in semi-finals at the moment in Strasbourg.
Exactly.
So is Mboko as well.
Mboko,
exactly. They're doing well in Strasbourg.
And I think there's a lot of risk here. Naomi Osaka as well. I think, not to say that I don't think she's going to come through it, but this is not an easy section of the draw, I don't think.
Especially because, she's just obviously lost to Castella and Baptiste. I would have said, if this had happened at the start of the clay season, I've been like, yeah, this is absolute stroll. But I wonder how confident Sabalenka is, given those results. I think because of those, I think week 1 for me becomes a lot more interesting for Sabalenka because we've seen these wobbles, we've seen these dips. And as you said, Chris, there could be some tricky tests early on.
She does always turn up at the slams, though. I think that's where I don't necessarily think she's not going to make it to like round 4. But then, Naomi Osaka can do some crazy things at the French Open. She can also lose in round 1 like she has done more recently. But I mean, Pegula as well on her day, not a clay quarter, but very dangerous. And we haven't even mentioned Madison Keys, Australian Open champion from last year. I just feel like Mboko, the nature of this, the mixture of players in here mean that whoever she's playing, as you say, Joel, she has not been playing that well. And so it makes you think, could they pose a threat? Not that she won't get past them.
It's more like one match at a time.
Yes.
I can't look as far forward as say with Yannick Sinner.
Not a foregone
the
conclusion.
Confidence isn't there like it is with Sinner, but I do think she is like queen consistency at slams in the last few years. So I'll sort of stick with that for now for me. I mean, there's a really good first round match. I think hopefully it'll be good. Anyway, Iva Jovic against Alex Ayala, very much one of the young guns. Ayala sort of dropped off a bit of late, but this will be the first time they've ever met, and might be a sign of some things to come. I would expect Jovic to come through that one.
I think Osaka might go out round 1 if I'm.
I can't be in another press conference.
I think Siegmund is tough. I mean, I completely forgot Siegmund's been in the quarterfinals of the French Open.
Yeah.
Is this going to be your bold prediction? You've already ruined
20.
Was that match against Sabalenka last year at Wimbledon? That was crazy, wasn't it?
She reached the quarterfinals there. She was quarterfinals at the French Open in 2020, but
not long ago.
I think that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
A lot of slices, a lot of spins she won't enjoy, but I think Osaka is, she's too good to go out to Siegmund in round 1, I think.
Well, we will wait and see. Let's have a look at quarter 2, where we've got defending champion Coco Guaff as the 4th seed. She's got fellow American Anisimova there as the 6th seed, but we've also got stalwart Elise Mertens. We've got Potapova, who was on our clay power rankings.
Walking her dog today, yes.
Walking her dog today, that's always helpful.
The very little toy poodles, lovely.
And we've also got Lois Boisson is lurking here as well. Last year's semi-finalist. She's not seeded, but she's. I wonder if she can back up her run last year at all, or whether she'll be out first round to Kalinskaya. That will have to see. But yeah, what do you make of Coco Gauff's pathway to defending her title, Chris?
tough first round for sure against someone that she's good friends with, who's a very good player. I mean, do not underestimate Taylor Townsend on a big stage. The only thing I'd say is that does Taylor Townsend believe she's going to beat Coco Guaff, even if it does get close? I think first round matches, Coco said she does get nervous sometimes. I still think she's going to get through that one. And I think the more you look into the draw, that is a tricky Potapova clash. I think we put her in our clay power ranking. She's had some great form and she's had some really great kind of grind on the clay. She played qualifying after she made that great result in Madrid. She's played a lot of matches, a lot of confidence. And I think that's what you need in some of these big moments. And under pressure, we'll have to see how Coco Gauff does there. But I think she will be playing it one match at a time. I think title defenses are tricky. You know, it's easy to get nervous. And I think that you don't want to look too far ahead in the draw and deal with it, you know, if it happens. But she's been playing well in Rome. And I think the draw isn't terrible, but that third round is tricky.
Yeah, I think in this quarter, for me, Potapova's the trickiest player for Gauff. You know, I see Anisimova not really. I think she's coming back from injury, not really been on the clay that much. And yeah, I mean, I know Anne Lee. These are names I'm just
Kim's favorite.
And well, she's in the Strasbourg semis.
Is she? You must be thrilled, Kim. Do you have it on right now? Goodness. I mean...
Well, I'm recording this podcast, so no.
Oh, sorry. Yes, okay. When you've been partial to putting on a player or two, wasn't Pennington Jones on behind you the other day?
Jones
secretly?
Was on, yeah.
But
sadly he lost.
I was going to ask you both about Boisson. Do we think there's a chance she might have another run?
Does lightning strike twice?
No, I cannot see it. I cannot see it. I think she's losing first round to Kalinskaya.
Yeah,
I
can't see her
too.
doing her magic again, sadly.
Well, on that note...
I am interested in Qin Wenjiang, another unseeded player, because she's been come back from injury. You would typically expect her to be seeded.
Olympic gold medalist in Paris, don't forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
she likes these calls.
Took Rybakina to 3 sets as well in Madrid. So I think she could be, for me, an interesting one to watch in this quarter.
If
Katie Porter as well for Britain in there with a wild card. That's surely a winnable opener against an American wild card that, well, I've certainly never heard of, a Kasha Ahobo. So hopefully Katie can get a few wins.
It must be the reciprocal wild
belt.
card. So she must have won something to get here. So a win in Paris is a pretty, well, not the most common thing, you know, for us. So it'd be great to see if she can go on a little bit of a run.
Do you think Sabalenka would be happy that she's got Gauff in the, you know, potential semi-final lineup, or would she have preferred, you know, Iga Swiatek or what have you? Because obviously, if she is to play Gauff this time around, it'll be a round earlier than last year.
I think we're all secretly hoping, and I am a Coco Guaff fan, but I want a Swiatek versus Sabalenka final at some point. I think clay would be really interesting. I'd love to see it. I also think
we've got to break the hoodoo over that at some point.
We have.
It's got to happen. Come on.
It's not happening. So I don't think
if we're not getting Alcaraz Sinner, we need Swiatek Sabalenka.
The ladies are going to step up, I think, and maybe we'll get some really good clashes because it's so many players who could win this. I think it is wide open.
Will we get a ladies' night session? That's
no, obviously not.
$1 million question.
Ask Amazon. I think they're going to say no again, especially if they didn't put Boisson on last year. I don't think they're going to find the opportunity here.
Sad. Okay. Well,
Kim, that was my bold prediction.
Oh, what? The female match should be on the night session.
Everyone, please keep them to yourself. That's actually too bold.
That was actually too bold. Yeah,
too bold. But I'm
nonsensical.
Sure
crazy talk.
Again. The argument, the debate around it, I'm sure will come up again, and rightly so. But we're kind of expecting it this time, aren't we? Let's have a look at the third quarter. The second half now, where we do have Iga Swiatek as the third seed, but perhaps maybe more excitingly, we've also got Aryna Svitolina, recent Rome champion. We've also got Marta Kostyuk, who, both of them topped our clay power rankings the other day.
Marta Kostyuk.
Yeah.
Clay.
Ooh, yes.
Absolutely. We've also got, Ostapenko, former champion in this section, Belinda Bencic, Clara Towson. So yeah, quite a stacked section, I think, in terms of some players who have some recent form. Who is going to come through this one? Is it going to be the 4-time Roland-Garros champion Iga Swiatek? Chris?
I think she's building to something bigger. I'm not sure it's going to be a title here, but I think the form really has returned. I think she's going to play some great tennis in Paris. One question mark I do have is that every time you see Ostapenko near Swiatek, you have to be a little bit alert. I mean, alarm bells could ring out for Swiatek fans, especially for Iga herself, because the record speaks for itself. She is not winning matches against her and not really looking like she's close to. And there's something that happens to Jelena Ostapenko when she sees Iga Swiatek on the opposite side of the court, and she just goes into this sort of god mode. So that could be a risk. But if she can get past that, I mean, Kostyuk, that could be a great match. But again, it's tough. She's got to beat some top players to get to, even the quarterfinals, and then things get even tougher after that. So I think it's a draw to test her, and I think we'll find out which Iga Swiatek is now, stepping up.
And funnily enough, Svitolina is also she's definitely playing a player that has bit of recent history, shall we say, that she's not done so well against, and that's Anna Bondar of Hungary, who recently beat her and also beat her at the US Open, I think, last year.
Joel, tell us more about this. Yeah, you've been looking into this.
Yeah, I think you fixed the draw specifically for this streak to be going on, because Svitolina and Bondar have played each other at the last 3 Grand Slams, going back to Roland-Garros last year, where Svitolina defeated Bondar in straight sets. Svitolina then defeated Bondar round 1 in Wimbledon, but Bondar defeated Svitolina at the US Open in round 1 in straight sets, 6-2, 6-4. And Bondar, of course, defeated Svitolina in Madrid very recently. So that might be more interesting than maybe one to keep an eye on.
Law. But did they play in Australia for its consecutive slams? That's my big question.
Oh, of course, yes.
In the order of slams. I don't think
they did not play. They did not play in Australia.
They swapped Australia for Madrid.
Yes, there we go.
Yes, got it.
But Marta Kostyuk's, I would just add, Marta Kostyuk's an interesting one, because actually, if you look at her French Open record,
abysmal, isn't it? I remember
it's not great. So is this the year that she's gonna
win a match?
Right that wrong? Win a match?
I think she might win a match. Someone else who I think is going to win a match. I think Svitolina. I think there's going to be something magical happening in the Monfils household. I think she's going to do something quite special, inspired by her husband as well as kind of her recent Rome run. I mean, the French crowd love her. I think this is the best chance for her winning a slam. And I'm doing, well, I won't go too far into my predictions, but I'm doing what Kim does. But I want something to happen. I don't predict it.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, yeah, I also see that Sophia Kenin is in this section, former finalist. I'm always waiting for her to kind of have a deep run again.
Why were you laughing when you said that, Kim? Former finalist, former Australian Open champion as well.
Well, yeah, but former finalist at the French in that funny COVID year when it was in October.
Against Iga, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm always waiting for her to have another run. So
Kim, she lost in Strasbourg qualifying.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. But yeah. Yeah.
Well,
moving on.
What about Danish talent? That could be a great match. Torsen Kenin, if that happens.
Yes, that could be.
I'll be courtside for that one, Kim.
See if it's going to be a windy day.
I hope it's a windy day.
Torsen is an excellent wind player.
She really is.
Right. The final quarter, we've got Rybakina as the second seed. We've also got Mira Andreeva, Hailey Baptiste, who's had a bit of a run of good form lately, some good wins. Muchova's in here, Paolini. She got to a final here, didn't she? What, 2 years ago? Was that her year of sort of success, big success? Samsonova's here. Barbora Krejcikova is here as well. And Emma Raducanu, of course.
Magdalena Frech.
With her new coach. Magdalena Frech is here. Yes. I mean, gosh, thoughts on this section. Fairly deep with the likes of Rybakina, Andreeva, Paolini, some sort of former, maybe players who aren't currently in the greatest form, but certainly some with some good pedigree behind them.
I want to hear what Joel has to say about this. He thinks Andreeva's on for something, I think. Is that right? Yeah,
I think Andreeva, I think she's in a good part of the role. I think the cards have fallen kindly here. And I think, this is a great opportunity for her. My only concern for Mira Andreeva is we've seen her in big moments recently, crying and not maybe her mentally maybe a little bit kind of more fragile than perhaps she needs to be. And at the French Open, when the crowds are going to be big, they're going to be noisy. I would wonder later on in the tournament if she can make it. How is that going to impact her game, or will it? Because I think she's going to need to be strong-willed, I think, in order to have a good chance. But certainly, I think if you look at her draw, I think it's a very good one. I think I'd rather be on her side as opposed to Rybakina, because she's got, as we've mentioned, Costyuk and Baptiste. Have defeated Sabalenka recently. Paolini. I'm still expecting her to kind of come through this, but again, I think I would rather be in Andreeva's position.
There's some tricky names there, as you say. I mean, Costyuk, I think she might do something here.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a bold prediction I might add to my list, it might be that Costyuk makes another Grand Slam quarterfinal. I mean, I would not be surprised given the fact that she's in her final season and she's got the bit between her teeth when it comes to
18th seed. Yeah. Will she still retire? I mean, it's
she said if she won Rome, she wouldn't.
Play better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the magic that you can't really kind of put your finger on. You're finishing, so you want to go out on a high.
You just go. You don't have that stress.
We didn't talk about this actually. She's made her top 20 debut, I think, at the age of 36, which is the oldest player to make her top 20 debut. So whatever happens to her, her ranking is only going to go up towards the end of the year because she's got nothing really to defend. So I'd like to see her have a run, but I do think, as you say, I think Rybakina, I think Muchova might do well. I think Andreeva's going to get pretty deep. A lot of the usual names, really.
Thoughts on Emma Raducanu?
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk
thoughts?
about.
Second round, maybe.
Has she got a good draw? Do we think she's got a good draw? She's got an unseeded player, but also we know that Sierra is a very handy clay court player. So, do you think she should be going into that expecting to win, or do you think that's going to be a tough challenge for her?
She's on a learning curve, I think, again, to learn how she played before. Physically, she's on the comeback trail. She looked pretty decent in Strasbourg. I think it was a good effort. I think this is a building block to Wimbledon. It's probably how she's seeing it in the training block with her new coach. So I think expectations are low, and I think that could benefit her. Could be free hitting. She could be quite aggressive and see what happens. The serve is a bit of an issue at the moment. Maybe they're doing some things to that. But, I mean, I'm not looking too deep for the Raducanu run here. I think we've got to see her play a few more matches before she's going to do something big.
Yeah, agreed. We've also got Fran Jones in this section opening against Haddad Maia, who is not seeded. So that'd be a good win if Fran Jones can get it. But we'll keep a lookout for her. Let's go on to our women's predictions then. So we'll do the same format. Might come to you first though, Chris, for the quarters. So let's go quarter by quarter and see who we've all got. So quarter one, Chris.
Sabalenka and Mboko.
Okay, I've gone for Sabalenka and Pegula. I was tempted with Mboko, but I thought, is she going to go deep at Strasbourg and then not have the freshness? Or is there going to be a lot of hype and then she's not quite going to...
She might miss the train and not make it. You never know.
Well, the French railways could go on strike. Joel?
I've got Sabalenka JPEG as well.
I was on a train to and from Strasbourg, and that was very, very slow. And we didn't make it back to our final destination in the end. We had to.
So you've got real experience you should share with Mboko ahead of her arrival in Paris.
Avoid the trains. Yeah,
if you're listening, Victoria.
Get a chauffeur.
Yes.
Okay, quarter two, Chris.
I've gone Gauff versus Zheng.
Okay, I've gone for Coco Guaff as well, but I've gone for Anne Lee, who is also in Strasbourg. But I thought
I like that.
She's going to make the train.
Yeah, she's making that train. And I just thought, she's been doing well. Let's get her in the quarterfinals. Joel.
Well, I've also got Gauff Zheng.
Okay, right. Getting some consistency here. I think more consistent than our men's predictions. Quarter three, Chris.
Surely we've all gone for Svitolina Swiatek.
Yeah.
I have as well, yeah.
I've gone the same as well. Hard to see past that, to be honest.
I'd love to see it. I mean, that'd be a fantastic match. Quarter four, Chris.
I've gone Muchova Rybakina.
I've gone Muchova Baptiste.
I've gone with the seeds. I've gone Andreeva, Rybakina.
Nice. Okay.
So the only seed you went rogue on was a former Olympic gold medalist in Paris.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
It's not that rogue, is it? Yeah.
No. Okay. Who are your semis final champion, Chris?
I've gone Sabalenka Gauff in my first semi-final. My second semi-final, I've gone for Svitolina versus Rybakina. And then I've gone for a Sabalenka Svitolina final. And I think it's just a head-to-head where the big hitting is too big. Also, don't want to jinx it, but I think Sabalenka is going to get her first Roland-Garros title.
But first final for Svitolina, though, at a slam.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Gail will be there, courtside. It will be a big moment.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've gone for Sabalenka against Gauff, Swiatek Muchova, and I've got a Sabalenka Swiatek final with Swiatek winning.
We'd love to see it.
She's going to get number 5. Yeah, number 5.
Yes, number 5.
Yeah. Gosh. Joel, what about yourself?
Okay, this is where I do go rogue because I have Pegula taking out Sabalenka in quarterfinal 1, and I've got Pegula Gauff All-American top half semi-final and Swiatek Rybakina, and my final is Coco Guaff Iga Swiatek, and I've got Iga Swiatek as my champion.
Interesting.
So 2 Swiateks and a Sabalenka for our champions.
I did not think I'd be in the minority with Sabalenka there, but I mean, Iga's won it before.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Grand National. You sort of think, who's
your money on
real form?
I feel like
has proven they can go.
I mean,
all the
I'm
way
looking
here
so far ahead, but
times.
JPEG's consistency, I think, could do Sabalenka in
on clay. Come on.
Yes.
She won Charleston, but I think we're in a dreamland, Joel. But
okay.
Maybe that's your bold prediction. You've started with that. Do you have any more bold predictions, Joel?
I've got Osaka going out to Siegmund in round 1.
She's going to get ruffled by Siegmund.
It's not going to be pretty then, is it?
I mean, I think Anne
Raducanu to make round 3
is quite bold. I think Kenin might make the 4th round. Even though she lost
Kim, did you not hear what I said earlier?
You get
Kenin lost
wrong.
in qualifying.
In Strasbourg qualifying, I know.
Selek Mateva 6-1 in the 3rd. That does not give round 4 French Open Kenin.
You know, she got double bageled by Azarenka before she made that French Open final from Rome to Paris. So she does like her fortunes to change.
Rags to riches.
I've got some better predictions than all of you. I thought Kristeya is going to make her first Grand Slam semi. I didn't predict that, but I'm saying it now.
You didn't predict that, though.
No, I'm having fun, Kim. It's fine.
Okay.
Sloane Stephens will take out a seed. I don't think they're going to be a very high seed, but a seed. And I have Swiatek will get her first win over Ostapenko. And I've got
like that.
4 of them. Raducanu will take out Paolini. In fact, actually, Swiatek taking out Ostapenko is what you need, you two, more than anything. So I've done you a favor.
Yeah, we do.